course, I haven't done this research by myself. I'm very grateful to Evelina and Bram, the master students I was a co-promoter of, and Professor de Costa and Professor Dior. I'm going to present you a videokymographic study of the vibratory pattern of the vocal folds of the 4 vocal modes by complete vocal technique. And this is a pilot case study as being presented at PEVOC in Florence just recently at the end of August. And at the end of my presentation, I'm going to share some really cool stuff, only for you, on creaking, vocal break, drums, so it's kind of nerdy. So, obviously, we all know that complete vocal technique has been developed by Catherine, and the research has been in cooperation with Dr. Flageolet. And all sounds can be categorized into the 4 vocal modes and flageolet. The distinction of the 4 vocal modes has been made by the shape of the supraglottal area and acoustic perception mainly, and flageolet has been defined by the vocal fold vibration, vocal fold closure, and acoustic perception. There has also been some research with EGG on the vocal fold closure, and this has been very interesting. So, I don't think I need to explain this. We have all seen this during our education. Let's go on. What were our research questions? First of all, we wondered whether videokymography could add some additional insights to research with EGG. Although we could see so many things, enough for 10 lifetimes, on the footage, we decided to focus on the duration of the closed and the open phase of the vocal folds, and also the speed of the opening and closing. Concerning flageolet, we wondered whether we would see partial vibration as being stated by CVT, or whether full length vibration would also be possible. And we have looked at the different possible contact areas, meaning anteriorly, the front of the vocal folds, the middle of the vocal folds, and posteriorly, which means the back of the vocal folds. This has been our methods. We worked with 3 male and 1 female singer, and they were all trained in CVT. They produced a long note on a vowel, well, several long notes on a vowel, in several pitches, from the lowest possible to the highest possible. We also made a separate high-quality audio recording because some of the very loud sounds, the microphone of the VKG camera couldn't handle them, so we made a separate audio recording, and this recording has been checked by several authorized CVT teachers and CVT trainees, and we have used the videokymography of Kymo. Why did we choose to make the research with VKG? Because EGG is very useful for several things. Also because it's a non-invasive method, but there are also some limitations. It reflects the degree of the vocal fold contact, but not the absolute opening of the glottis, and other structures can also affect the signal. It does not reflect exact movements in time of the time of opening and closing phase, and it cannot detect anterior and posterior asymmetry. What is videokymography? As you can see, the tongue is being pulled out quite a lot. It's a high-speed visualization of the vibration up to 7,200 images per second, and the technology has been developed by Professor Dr. Svetch and Schramm. Difficult name. So this is a very important image to explain to you how you should look at videokymography. The camera divides the image into 2 parts. The left part, A, you see the white light image as we are used to looking at these images. You can select a white line of 1 pixel, which is digitally written down 7,200 times per second on the right side. So you can see the right side as being the timeline of what is happening at the level of the white line on the left side. Only there. And this line can be repositioned during the examination. So we made long notes, and the professor repositioned the line anteriorly, in the middle, posteriorly, so we could see what was happening. What can we see here? This is a real-time registration. It means we can see every glottal cycle, as opposed to video laryngeal stroboscopy, all these difficult words. We can see left-right asymmetries, and we can also also see the duration of the open and closed phase, which was very important to us. We can see the regularity of the mucosal wave, and we can also see the movement of the upper and the lower margins of the vocal folds, which can be very interesting to check the hypothesis of Dr. McGlashan. So you can see here is the upper margin of the vocal fold, and this one is the lower margin of the vocal folds. And we actually have seen quite a lot of differences, but yeah, I need 5 lives to look at everything, so I didn't focus on that for now. So maybe if you see this picture, you understand better the fact that it's a timeline. You see a breathy attack. You can see that the vocal folds start from open position. This is a glottal attack. So you see the vocal folds start from a closed position. This is stop of the vibration. So these are the 4 vocal modes, and we have chosen images of a male who has produced the notes on C4. This is neutral with air. Yeah! It works.
But it's from the other way, it's not those one.
Sorry?
It's not those one, it's from coming those.
Yeah, it works, doesn't matter. So, this was neutral with air. The next one is neutral without air. Then we have curbing. I'm not going to go further into that. That was overdrive. And edge. So, when we compare neutral with air and neutral without air, this is what we see. The open phase lasts longer than the closed phase. The opening and closing of the vocal folds is equally fast. There is no posterior closure, although in neutral without air, it's better than in neutral without air. There is full length vibration, also posteriorly, where the vocal folds don't close. And the closed phase lasts longer in neutral without air than neutral with air. When we look at curving, this is what we see. The closed phase lasts longer than the open phase, compared to neutral, where the open phase lasts longer than the closed phase. And in curving, the closing goes faster than the opening of the vocal folds. When we go to overdrive, we see the same thing, same conclusions. Now, what we wondered, what you see here, could we compare this to the knee of the EGG? But a lot of the times we saw this pattern also in curbing. Well, was it curbing? I might ask myself. And we have also seen overdrives without the knee. So, more questions. And when we look at edge, also longer closed phase than open phase, and the closing is faster than the opening. When we compare the 4 vocal modes, this is what we see, a clear difference between neutral, non-metal, and the 3 metal modes. The open phase is longer in neutral than the closed phase. In the metal modes, the closed phase is longer than the open phase. There is no posterior closure in neutral. In the metal modes, we always saw the full glottal closure. The closing and the opening is equally fast in neutral, and in the metal modes, the closing is faster than the opening. Can I wait just a second before I go for the questions? Then, the more metal, the longer the closed phase, and the more metal, the faster the closure and the opening. And now I can answer some questions.
Yeah. The neutral was with air and without air, always open in the...
Always a posterior gap, yes.
Posterior closure means
That the vocal folds touch each other at the back of the vocal folds. Of the back, yeah, that the vocal folds touch at the back. So when you look at this way, here the vocal folds don't touch in neutral with air or without air. They vibrate, but they don't close, they don't touch each other. So this is a single case study, it's exploratory. We cannot make generalizations yet, there's more research needed, obviously. We have lots of more footage. A lot of the times we have seen the same as in this case, but a lot of the times we didn't see what we would have wanted to see. If you understand what I mean. So, why do I like this? It's a very good pedagogical tool. It's a good visual explanation of why it is so important to sing, not to sing with audible air when we are singing in the metal modes and thus with loud volume. There is no posterior gap in the metal modes, and the closed phase lasts much longer in the metal modes. So there's just no space or time to release the air. So, subsequently, it's a very good explanation why breath support and twang are so important. Breath support is holding back the air by regulating the subglottal pressure. And twang is regulating the supraglottal pressure, so we hold back the air on top of the vocal folds. The more metal we sing, the more twang we apply, so we apply bigger not to change the two, so we apply bigger supraglottal pressure when we use more twang in the metal modes. Subsequently, we have to lower the subglottal pressure by the breath support. So this is a good explanation for our visual students, because we can show them the pictures of what the vocal folds are doing. Now, concerning the flageolet, I don't have to go over this. Sound is hollow, no body, thin. CVT states or stated that there's a partial vibration anteriorly, not posteriorly, and there's two types of vocal fold closure, posterior closure or no posterior closure, related to the breathiness of the sound. This is our research method. Come on, where are you? There was no protocol yet, so I just said, go crazy, freewheel. So all these singers have been producing lots and lots of flageolet, and we have just looked at them. What is happening? What did we see? And we saw 8 different types of flageolet defined by the glottal closure. So I'm putting question marks on flageolet. Maybe we should design a whole new mode on teaching how to sing flageolet. And we saw also a vibration over the entire length of the vocal folds. It was only very rarely that we didn't see vibration on the VKG image. Note how I say we didn't see vibration. I don't say there was no vibration. So this is the first one. First one, closure in the middle and anteriorly. So here you see the 3 different pictures, but I put the scanning line, well not I, the professor, put the scanning line anteriorly, in the middle and posteriorly, and you can see that there is closure anteriorly and in the middle, but not posteriorly. Then this flageolet has only an anterior closure. These are the 3 separate images, only closure anteriorly. So when you see that there's black between the vocal folds, it means that they don't touch. Then this is a flageolet with no closure of the vocal folds at all. They do not touch. Then only closure in the middle. Posteriorly and anteriorly, not in the middle. Mind you, this person was doing it well. Very elegant. So they don't close in the middle, but they do close anteriorly and posteriorly. This next one is a flageolet. Oh, no, yeah, I went too fast. I have to go back to this one. So here we didn't see vibration, but when we put the scanning line a bit lower in the image, which means more anteriorly, we did see vibration. Then closure over the entire length of the vocal folds. Nice sound. Which song we can use this for? So disclosure of the entire length of the vocal folds. Do we see vibration anteriorly and in the middle? Well, we have found it a tiny bit of vibration when we put the scanning line a bit more posteriorly. This is where we only see posterior closure. Actually, I have only found this image 2 days ago when, from a recording session in 2012, we were just playing around with the camera, not knowing it yet because it's a very new technique. So this is not from the protocol where I asked them to produce single notes. This is a song. And here we see that there's only closure posteriorly. And this one we see closure in the middle and posteriorly. Sorry. Yeah, this was me. So, closure in the middle and posteriorly, but not anteriorly. Is there closure here? I have to say, you can see that the image is quite foggy. So I have been looking at this until my eyes were like this. So I put this question mark here deliberately. I don't see closure. Maybe you see closure, but it's a bit foggy. So. And then I have some other cool stuff for you. This is curbing versus neutral with air, portrayed very beautifully. The professor asked me something and I answered like, so this is what you're gonna see. And if I put it next to each other, beautiful images of neutral compared to curbing. This is also another thing, amplitude we haven't looked at. So many interesting things to see. Then this is creak. Many nice stills. I had to choose some. So we see all kinds of creaking. Complex patterns, regular vibratory patterns, irregular vibratory patterns. Sometimes the vocal folds are closed for a very long time, sometimes they're closed for a very long time. It appears in this case that the creak before neutral with air, there's a very long opening of the vocal folds, and the more metal there is, the longer the closure. But yeah, this is just one video, so we can not make any generalizations. This is an unwanted creaking. I was supposed to produce beautiful tone and then suddenly it creaked. And you can see that here, that during the split second there was a complex vibratory pattern. This was a wanted creaking, not unwanted. I'm going to show it like this because there were too many stills. Can I do it like this? 2 minutes, Sarah? Yeah, sorry. No, not going to do that. But I guess you have seen it during the video that there were like gazillion interesting vibratory patterns. And I really want to share pig squeal. I describe this as being a creaking on flageolet. What the hell is this? But it is regular. It is complex, but it is regular.
It's the Adele mode.
What the hell is this? And then my personal favorite, diplophonic. On the part of where the vocal folds don't close, we see regular vibration, and where the vocal folds close in the middle, we see a complex but regular vibration. So the amplitude is bigger and smaller. What is that? Then the vocal breaks. This is from a high neutral to low overdrive. And you see it better when I put them below each other. We see a very quick but a smooth transition. We heard a sudden break, but at the image, this is like not even a second. We see that's a very smooth transition, very smooth changing of the vibratory pattern. It's not the same note. Same thing, very quick but smooth transition from overdrive to neutral. This was a person who is not trained in CVT, is a classical singer, and who was asked to just go up without support and just allow to happen what happened. So it's an involuntary break. And we have seen two different kinds of breaks. One break where there was a very tiny moment of no vibration, and then a kind of creaking vibratory pattern. So, also interesting. And hammer vibrato, what do we see there? Yeah, you know the sound, let's go on. We see that the vocal tract shakes, it goes narrow and wide, and the vocal folds open faster and slower. You see that the moment where the vocal tract gets wider, that there's this little faster opening of the vocal folds. This is the last one. Yay! I'm so happy with this picture. Grunt. So, now I'm very interested for your questions and inputs.
I'm interested in when you studied, looked at the flageolet, how loud did you take it? Yeah.
From very silent to very loud.
Okay.
So there was freewheel all over the place. So all volumes.
And was it at any point so that the flageolet could be confused with neutral? Were you ever in doubt?
This is really interesting that you say this. Sometimes I was like, well, isn't neutral with air the same as flageolet? But I have looked already a little bit to the upper and the lower margins of the vocal folds, and I suspect, but I need so much more time for that, that it might be that in neutral the vocal folds are touching with more tissue than in neutral, than in flageolet. So we might maybe compare it to thin and thick vocal folds for a still. I don't know. These are questions and ideas, so we have to look into it deeper. Yeah.
Were there any theories as to why some people may have different types of flageolet closure?
Sorry, I didn't hear the beginning of your question.
Were there any theories as to why?
No theories. We just asked them to freewheel, and this is what I saw on the footage, so this is what I present, and I'm like, what the hell is happening? What is flageolet?
Alexandra? And the clicking sound that happens when you break from flageolet into the full mode?
You mean the vocal break from?
Yeah, the vocal break.
Yeah, actually.
That sound, that was only when they touched, it was like a slap, or what do you hear?
Yeah, well, you saw several vocal breaks. One from, I think the first one was from male flageolet to overdrive. This is actually the one where we all heard a very fast, quick, abrupt change acoustically, but we saw a smooth transition. Then I think it was the last one with the classical singer having this unsupported glissando. There we heard the click and we saw that there was a split second of no vibration. So I have no idea why we hear the click, even though there's a smooth transition. Maybe our ears can't follow. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, we have the last question, Mila.
It was just regarding I had two actually, about the flageolet. When you tell the singers, just play around with flageolet,
Yes.
how would they describe flageolet? Is that in the way that we do today with the description of just going for the hollow sound, or what did you do?
Well, those singers played with the hollow sound and also with the high flageolet. So we also went higher than the top C, and also with the this one that we also think could be flageolet, but still I'm with 1 gazillion question marks, like what is flageolet? So we all went for, we believe now that this is flageolet. But
Okay, so
yeah.
that was a personal, every singer had their own idea of what they thought were
But there had
flageolet.
to be agreement with everybody. So I
Yeah.
have also sent these examples to authorized teachers and trainees.
Like that.
and they had to agree on the fact that, okay, I would say this is flageolet too.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was all based on sound, all the flageolet
Yes,
samples.
not on image. Not like,
No.
I want to see this image, can you produce this? No,
Yeah.
just sound, and then we looked at what was happening.
Okay. And what about the breath support? Is that the same thing as we refer to as support?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Once again, this. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
By the one person, it was another one, or was it the middle?
Yeah, the one that is only closure in the middle, but we have seen other persons producing the same kind of flageolet where there was only closure in the middle. Actually, my example, only closed in the middle.
Because it seemed that the engagement was a little bit difficult, let's say.
Yes, this person was suffering from reflux. But it was not the only vibratory pattern, not the only person who showed this vibratory pattern, where he or she produced a flageolet and where we only saw closure in the middle of the follicles. But this was a very painful patient.
Yes. Sorry.
Where are the next?
Which one?
Yeah, Ginny.
Okay, sorry.
I'm sorry, you may have said this and I missed it, but why are you using this word flageolet for
Well, that was
these
my
pitches?
Sorry, I didn't understand the last question.
Why are you using the term flageolet
Yes,
for these pitches?
because flageolet, as being defined by CVT, looks like this. You might compare this to classical falsetto.
But in classical singing, flageolet is above C6.
Yes. This is about terminology. In CVT, we use the term flageolet also for sounds like this. So this is a discussion of semantics, actually. So
Okay.
I'm researching four vocal modes and flageolet according to CVT. And this is the discussion for centuries, so it's very interesting. Which word do we use for which sound?
I would only like to suggest that the older words have a long history, and if you use them as new words in the present moment with a new definition, it adds to confusion, not takes away.
Yes, I understand. This presentation is only 1 hour. I'm very sorry that I couldn't explain what we exactly mean with flageolet, so I had to skip that explanation. I agree completely.
Okay.
No problem.
But it's actually an excellent example how much variability there is in the vocal fold vibration in one person in different singing styles that can be really well visualized with high-speed imaging techniques. And if we have sufficient frame range, like in BKG, then we can see amazing things which were not really seen before. So congratulations on actually exploring this method and on your ability to produce all these phonetic